Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Good afternoon. Make sure all cylinders are flowing. We're super excited. Happy Monday. Good afternoon. If you're coming on, joining us live, do me a quick favor. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know that your boy, Ramon Preston, my squad, we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. Today is Monday, March the 17th, 2025, and we are live. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody, and let them know that the Ramon Preston Show is live. I'm your host, Ramon Preston, and every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, we come here live to share information with you, to give you the game, to show you exactly what you need to do as an individual or even as an entrepreneur. We show you what you need to do to get to 6-7 figures and beyond. So please do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, tag a family member, a friend, somebody that you know that needs to learn something about business, about money, about investing, about wealth building. Maybe they even need to learn a little bit about life and God, because we talk about all of the above. Also, I want you to put in the comments what city you're watching your boy from. Let me know what city you are watching the Ramon Preston Show from, who you represent. I want to know, because today on the show, we're going to be talking about the number one skill for CRE investors. That is the number one skill for creative real estate investors. Now, whether you are a real estate investor or whether you are a stock market investor, a business investor, or some other industry investor, what I'm going to share with you today about this number one skill, it actually works in any industry. This is one of the secret sauces that my wife and I have always used throughout our 22-year career and tenure in real estate. This is the secret sauce. This is the number one skill that we've used, and we've always been able to use this skill as leverage to get in deals, to get opportunities, to make money, and to always bring value to people, which means we're always in demand. We're always in demand. There's going to always be somebody who wants to work with us, whether it's in real estate or in business, because they know we have this number one skill. And so I want to talk to you about this skill today, and I want to most definitely extend an opportunity for you to get access to a few pieces of information and a few tools that are going to be critical for you if, in fact, you plan on being a creative real estate investor or any kind of investor. So if you're not able to stay the whole show, make sure that you click the link in the description. When you click that link in the description, there's going to be an opportunity for you to take me up on the offer that I'll talk about at the end of the show, but it's going to be for you to get access to our underwriting worksheet. We have an entire worksheet to show you how to underwrite. We also have an upcoming subject to mastermind. So this is going to be a mastermind that I teach you some of the intricate details of one of the most creative real estate strategies on the planet. And we also have an already pre-recorded creative real estate investing workshop. This was about a 6-hour deep dive that I did on all things creative real estate. And we also want to extend a strategy call for you. So if you're interested in real estate, I want to show you the creative side of real estate, not just the general side of real estate. So I want you to stick around. Again, welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. If you don't know, now you know. I am your host, Ramon Preston. And every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon, Eastern Standard Time, my squad and I, we carve out this window to make sure that we come live to give you the game, to share information with you that can help you in your financial freedom journey, in your investment journey, in your business building journey, in your wealth building journey. So today we're talking about the number one skill for CRE investors. The number one skill for CRE investors. CRE is just the acronym for creative real estate investors. In my personal and professional 22 plus year estimation, the number one skill for creative real estate investors is the skill of underwriting. Okay? It is the skill of underwriting. Now, before I explain to you what underwriting is and why I believe underwriting is the number one skill for creative real estate investors, I want to first explain to you why I am saying creative real estate investors as opposed to real estate investors, because there is a fundamental difference between the two. So let's start there. Just in case you don't know anything about creative real estate investing, let's start with what a creative real estate investor is and how is a creative real estate investor different from a general real estate investor. Well, creative real estate investing, okay, is simply all of the non-traditional ways that you and I can use to invest in real estate. That is the non-traditional way of investing in real estate. So, for example, when you think of traditional real estate investing, you find a property, you find a real estate agent, you find a mortgage broker, or you go to a bank or a credit union, you get a loan, you get pre-approved, you submit the contract, you find a contractor, you get an inspection, just the traditional ways of doing a real estate deal, which there's nothing wrong with that outside of the fact that most people who want to become real estate investors are most likely never going to do it the traditional way. Now, if you're watching me, you already know what I'm saying is true, because if you've ever had a desire to get into real estate investing, most likely you talk to a real estate agent or you bought a guru's course like me online and you came up with this bright idea to start looking for properties on Zillow, on Redfin, on Trulia. Maybe you're a real estate agent or you know an agent and they're on the MLS in your area. They sending you properties. And then you end up running into this roadblock called financing, because you cannot finance the property. In other words, you talk to the mortgage banker or the credit union that you have an account with, and they tell you, well, in order for you to get a loan as a real estate investor, you have to have this dollar amount. You have to do this, you have to do that. Or if you're going to buy a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex and get an FHA loan, you got to make this. It's always something that tends to get in the way for the person who wants to do real estate investing the traditional way. I think everyone who wants to become a real estate investor should, at the very least, learn how to invest creatively. Because you learn the non-traditional ways. You learn how to buy real estate with little to none of your own money. You learn how to buy real estate with none, absolutely none of your credit. You learn how to buy real estate with absolutely none of your own personal credentials like W-2s or bank statements or whatever the tax statements are that are typically required with a traditional real estate investment transaction. So I think everyone who has a desire to become real estate investors should learn the creative way of investing in real estate. I think we can all agree on that, okay? So when you think about creative real estate investing, think about all the non-traditional ways. There are a lot of non-traditional ways. As a matter of fact, This is about 30, let's see here, this workbook alone is 37 pages. This is the workbook that we have included in this package that is a part of our workshop. And just this workshop alone, walking through 37 pages, will teach you more about the non-traditional ways of real estate investing than you probably have ever heard of. So we talk about wholesaling. That's a non-traditional way. We talk about lease options. That's a non-traditional way. We talk about private money lending. That's a non-traditional way. We talk about seller finance. That's a non-traditional way. And we talk about what is my personal favorite, subject to real estate investing. That's a non-traditional way in which the underwriting worksheet that I have created for my students and my clients is a worksheet that specifically tailors toward subject to investing, okay? And we have a mastermind that we're going to be doing, and we definitely offer strategy calls. So I want you to think about the non-traditional ways of getting into real estate, because if I did not learn and execute creative real estate investing, I don't think I would have ever been in a position to get in the game, because I didn't have enough credit. I didn't have enough cash. I didn't have job history. It was so much red tape. It just wasn't going to happen. Okay. I had to find a creative way. And once I figured out how to do real estate investing creatively, it changed everything about my personal life, my professional life, and my financial life. So I wanted to at least establish the foundation for what a creative real estate investor is. A creative real estate investor is simply someone, hopefully like you and me, who participates in real estate investing, buys and sells real estate, but we do it the non-traditional ways. Okay, so that means we're gonna trade real estate. We're gonna trade it through wholesale assignments. We're gonna trade it through lease options. We're gonna trade it through private money lenders, or maybe hard money lenders. We're going to trade it through seller financing and through subject to transactions. That's how we're going to buy and sell real estate. Okay, definitely on the buy side, not necessarily on the sell side, but definitely on the buy side. That's a creative real estate investor. And what I'm saying to you today on this show, because we're limited in time, is the number one skill that you're going to use as your secret sauce. It's been my wife and I's secret sauce. And that is underwriting. Now, a lot of people who are in the real estate world, who are investors, we use the word underwriting, but it really has a couple different meanings. Because when we use the word underwriting, we are really talking about a mixture of a couple things, okay? So the first thing that we're talking about is identifying the financial risk. On a property, okay? And we're also talking about identifying the overall performance. Now, if you're talking to somebody who is like not in the real estate investment game on a day-to-day basis, what they might say is, we have to analyze the property, which analyzing is just really under the umbrella for most real estate investors as underwriting. So we're analyzing when we're underwriting, but we use the word underwriting because we want to make it simple. A lot of people in real estate make it so complicated. They use all these acronyms and, DSCR, at COC. We use CMA. We use GI. We just use we have all these different acronyms, which I have a section in our workshop and in our course training that we break down all the terms and concepts, but I don't want you to complicate yourself. I don't want you to get intimidated. I want you to understand that underwriting as a whole is about you, number one, identifying the financial risk on a piece of property. So what that means is if you went to Zillow right now and went into and looked in a certain area that you know you would like to invest in, let's say just to buy a single family home, okay? You want to be able to go to that area, type it in, put in the filter, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. This is the average age. This is the price range. You want to be able to put that in something as simple as Zillow, and whatever the properties are that come up in that area, you want to be able to underwrite that property, okay? That means you want to be able to identify the financial risk. Why do you want to identify the financial risk? Well, number one, you want to determine what your COA is. That is, here we go with acronyms. This is short for cost of acquisition. You want to be able to know what your acquisition costs are. You also want to know what your COD, your cost of disposition. So when you are underwriting a property, let's say it is a home, okay? You are, number one, identifying the financial risk. You want to determine what are the costs of acquisition? How much is it going to cost for me to get into this deal? Remember, if you're doing it creatively through strategies like subject to, seller finance, lease options, or some other creative strategies, the cost of acquisition is going to be different than it would be if you had a real estate agent to find the property, it was listed with another real estate agent, and you had a mortgage broker that was pre-qualifying you. Your cost of acquisition is going to go through the roof. And I'm not saying that you don't want to have agents and mortgage brokers, but what I'm saying is when you are an investor, you have to become more skilled at doing deals that don't necessarily demand you needing all these other individuals who are taking a piece of that pie every time you bring them into the equation, okay? So that lowers your return on investment. That lowers the cash that you walk away with, whether it's at closing when you buy it or at closing when you sell it or over the course of time if you keep it. This is why you want to identify the financial risk by determining what the COA, the cost of acquisition, but then I want to determine what my cost of disposition. So how much is it going to cost for me to buy the property, okay? So I have a whole list of things that I have to determine, okay? How much am I buying it for? What's the purchase price? How much money I got to put down? If it's a creative deal, how much money do I have to give the seller? Do I have to pay commissions and assignments? Is there renovation involved? What are my carrying costs? Insurance? There's a list of things that I have to calculate to determine what my cost of acquisition is. But then I want to also look at what am I going to do with this property? Am I going to lease it out? Am I going to rent it out traditionally? Am I going to do a pad split? Am I going to do Airbnb? Am I going to do midterm rentals? Am I going to fix and flip it? What am I going to do with it? So I need to know my acquisition and my disposition costs. This is the first part of underwriting. And there are certain metrics you want to use. So if you go to Zillow, you want to be able to look at how much the property is being sold for. You want to look at the comparatives, the CMA, the comparative market analysis in that area. These are all the things that I teach my clients and students because I know if you can learn how to become a beast at underwriting, you're going to always find a good deal and you ain't going to get burnt because you know how to do something that even a lot of real estate investors that I personally have worked with don't know how to do. That's why I said my wife and I, we've used this as secret sauce because when we first started working with investors, when we were not investors, we were just consultants. And really, we were using the word consultant when the truth is my wife was a real estate agent. I was the handyman. But we brought our minds together and figured out that, okay, if we develop this skill set, this skill set is going to be one of the most valuable skill sets, because a lot of investors that we worked with, we're talking about even in the early 2000s, a lot of these investors didn't know about underwriting. They didn't understand anything. All they knew was, I got $50,000 and I want a 10% return on my money. That's all they knew. So all they knew is they wanted to take 50 grand, put it in a piece of real estate, and they wanted to make at least a 10% return, which basically would be 10% return would be $5,000 a year. And I'm like, okay. Over time, we realized that this is not the way you make money as a real estate investor, okay? But that's what a lot of real estate investors did. So anyway, underwriting is about identifying financial risks, meaning that you want to identify how much is it going to cost for me to buy the property, how much is it going to cost for me to dispose it. Acquisition, disposition, that's going to make up one side. The other part of underwriting is identifying the overall performance. This is where you start getting into what neighborhood the house is in. What size house is it? Like a 3-bedroom house in that area might sell quicker or might rent quicker than a 5-bedroom in that area. Okay, you might find a 3-bedroom for $250,000 where the 5-bedroom might be $550,000. So you have to factor all those things in when you're analyzing or identifying the overall performance. So again, the purpose of today's show was to at least open your mind to the power of learning this number one skill as a creative real estate investor, and understanding that if you're going to get into investing in real estate, you might have to walk through the front door as a creative real estate investor, not as a traditional real estate investor. Because most traditional real estate investors, or want to be traditional real estate investors, they never invest in real estate because they don't have enough money, they don't have credit, they can't get a loan, and then they just get out the game, go back to work, and hope somehow they hit the lottery or something big happens so that they can buy their first property, when you're missing a whole lot of opportunities on the creative real estate side. But one of the most important things you have to learn, which is this skill, is underwriting, because that's going to determine if the deal is a deal. There are plenty deals that have come across my desk that I used my skill set of underwriting to look at and determine that's not a deal. And some of these deals were just being given to us. Like, you can have it. If you can do something with it, here, take it. And we used to look at them and be like, nah. And we still do it. There are times that we get opportunities to do deals and we look at them, but we're looking at them through the lens of underwriting. We're not looking at them through the lens of, ooh, if I put granite in this house, this is going to be nice. Or, oh my God, I love this area. All that sounds good. But can I determine the cost of acquisition? Can I determine the cost of disposition? And is it enough financially for me to sign on the dotted line and acquire it so I'm not stuck with a liability? So I hope today's show was valuable. I hope that you got something out of today's show that opened your mind to the possibility of creative real estate investing. Again, in the description of this video, there's a link to our creative real estate strategies program. It's an entire training program. I'm not even sure, and I'm saying this respectfully, I'm not even sure if you're going to find one single program on the internet at this price with as much information on just creative real estate investing. Now, again, there are a lot of people who teach about creative real estate investing. I know some of them personally, but I know their costs are not just a couple $100. I know there are thousands of dollars for their programs. And guess what? They may work for some people, but if you want to be introduced to creative real estate investing, if you want to learn what I think is the number one skill set that actually works across all spectrums, meaning that if you learn the skill of underwriting as a creative real estate investor, knowing how to underwrite wholesale deals, knowing how to underwrite lease options, knowing how to underwrite subject to deals and seller finance deals, number one, you're going to open yourself up to more opportunities. You're going to make it better for private money lenders, hard money lenders that you might need to borrow money from for the deal. You're going to make it better for other investors who want to do business with you. See, I work with some investors who have bigger pockets than me, but when I submit deals to them, they appreciate the fact that I underwrite the deals through the lens of an investor. So it gives them a better idea of what the deal can do. And they know I'm not just fluffing them up, because a lot of people who wholesale, they just fluff the numbers to make it sound good until a real investor look at them numbers and underwrite it and realize, nah, it ain't nothing there. You just talking out the side of your head. So I want to show you how to become really a master underwriter. And if you can learn how to underwrite deals from a creative perspective, it just makes it easier for the traditional way of doing real estate. And underwriting, even though it's a different terminology that we use, but this same skill set is critical to buying businesses or other assets. So I think it's universal. It works across the board. You could click the link in the description. Again, there's a program that we are extending an opportunity for you to get access to. This is our Creative Real Estate Strategies program. We teach all the ins and outs. All you need to do is go through that entire program. You're going to know what you need to know about creative real estate investing. I guarantee that. So you get our subject to underwriting worksheet. So I literally have a worksheet step by step to show you how do you underwrite a subject to creative real estate deal. How do you underwrite it? Because most people I talk to who even understand creative real estate, they still don't know how to underwrite. They don't know how to break down the numbers and analyze a property. Because once you learn it, you can practice every day. You go to Zillow, you could pull 3 or 4 properties from anywhere that you're interested in, and you could take those properties and underwrite them. That's it. You know how to underwrite. You know how to analyze. You know how to identify the risk. You know how to determine the cost of acquisition, the cost of disposition, and what you can get out of the deal. That's how you're going to find deals. You're not going to just have some amazing deal drop in your lap. It don't work like that. But in this program, when you click the link, you have an underwriting worksheet for subject to deals. We're also going to give you a mastermind. So in a couple weeks, we'll be hosting a mastermind specifically for creative real estate investing. You're going to be able to join us, and you're going to get this 6-hour creative real estate workshop already inside of the program with a 37-page workbook. And literally, it's so much information in this workbook. Your brain gonna get tired. And we also have a strategy call. So the strategy call is gonna help you with maybe your structure, because you want to make sure that you have a separate real estate structure under your holding company. All this stuff that I talk about on the show, it works hand in hand. It's just that you got to learn how to put the pieces together. So when I'm talking about holding companies, tax strategies, repurposing money, financial engineering, when I'm talking about all these things, once you learn them individually and you put them together, you're going to realize it's easy to build a $1 million enterprise. I'm telling you. So click the link. There's a number in the description. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out and call. My team and I are here. We're available. And we look forward to working with you and helping you take your business and your real estate investing to the next level. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached our 30-minute window. Thank you for joining the Ramon Preston Show. Leave a comment. Let me know in the comments what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. And we'll be back here tomorrow, Tuesday, March 18th, same place, same time, 12 o'clock noon.